Hi, I'm Kerry Blaser, Mary Magdalene's soul. I'm also a mother and a shaman and a recently published author of My Inner Heroine, Exploring Feminine Pain. Please like and subscribe. Today, I thought we'd talk about what happened yesterday, but I didn't know that it was specific to a day in the Hebrew year. Yet my ex is Israeli, but he's more secular, so I don't know Judaism very well. Yesterday was Shabbat Shuvah, and Shabbat Shuvah is the Sabbath of return. What does that mean? Is the is the Shabbat or the Sabbath that occurs between Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, which was earlier this week, like September 23rd, 2025, and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, Day of Forgiveness, during the 10 days of repentance, the 10 days where you return to yourself to explore your emotional pain and forgive yourself and others for all of your challenges. It is named for the first word shuvah, return, which is like return to your inside, which is feminine, which is relationship with self, of a special Hataraf. I can't pronounce it well. Reading from the prophets from Hosea. So this Shabbat, also known as the Sabbath of Repentance, focuses on the themes of returning to one's true self and a love-based form of repentance that leads up to the immensely solemn Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement, Day for Forgiveness. So let me kind of go over some things that led up to Saturday, because I didn't know why this happened yesterday until the day after. So this is how it always happens to me. As a feminine, my intuition tells me what to do, and then I learn why later. That's like trust the process, trust yourself, self-belief. Okay, so this week I put pen to paper on 6 divine feminine self-love strategies, and you can see I made a video on it. Okay, so those would be strategies for repentance. How do you dive into yourself, self-reflection, return to self, and turn your wounds into wisdom? How do you have gratitude in your heart to open your heart for your challenges in life? How do you self-reflect? And then how do you forgive everyone involved? And that's just one of the six pieces of wisdom in that text that I'll link below. So then yesterday happened. I made a video yesterday. I'm not going to mention it here, but you can watch it. But that was a necessary kind of, I needed to share how I reflected on that event so that my heart would open wide enough to allow what came out of me to happen. So after I made that video, my intuition said, go get some edibles, because I use marijuana edibles to help. It's a heart opener. It's plant medicine from Mother Earth, me, like psilocybin, like ayahuasca, to help us repair our nervous systems, open our hearts to our emotional pain, and make it easier for us to transform wounds into wisdom. So I got that. I came home, I took 5 edibles, and I laid in my recliner. And I started opening, and the kind of reaction to my video yesterday started coming out with some of the people that I tagged. And then I got super aligned with Catherine, Princess of Wales, on my right, and Candace Owens, African Queen, on my left. And let me explain why that's important, okay? So in order for me as Divine Feminine to help everyone return to their hearts, I have to have access to their hearts. Well, how do I access people's hearts? I'm a healer's healer, so I go to people who have the most access. Well, I already have access to a lot of the people in the globe based on my master's degree in religious studies, and I spent time in China, South Korea. I met my ex-husband in Tibet. He's Israeli. I've lived in Europe. Okay, so I have, I've been to a lot of places, right, to make those connections so that when I open my heart, they can benefit from the wisdom that I unveil inside of my soul. And so their souls can go, oh yeah, we have that wisdom too. Let's bring it out inside of their souls. That's how I give everybody an opportunity to love themselves more and internalize that positivity, the wisdom. But the places I didn't have were Africa and India specifically. So also present yesterday were J.D. Vance and his wife, because they recently went to India and met with the prime minister. So India is in his wife's heart, and she's from India. And, you know, Catherine and Princess Diana is very present with me, and deep seeds in Africa, because that's a challenging situation to help them come into alignment with universal wisdom and universal truths. And then we have Candace Owens, who, you know, needs no introduction. She's badass, like, you know, she takes on Congress successfully. Like, you go, girl. Like, love that. Need her, like, connections and just African queen energy. I don't even know how to say it because it's so new to me. And so holding both of their hands, I could unveil the wisdom inside of my soul, like the 6 teachings, and the need for repentance, and the need to value the feminine, and how the true feminine prophet is here. I needed to say that yesterday. It just came out of my heart yesterday, and I didn't know that it was Shabbat Shuvah. You know, but I have to take my role very seriously. Who am I, and what communications are necessary for me to own who I am and my job? You know, as Mary Magdalene's soul, I have a specific wound that other people don't. And I have that wound because that wound is my job. It's my job to rise the divine feminine and to descend the divine masculines, who are both of the people. See, what happened when, you know, Jesus died on the cross and Mary was suppressed over the past 2,000 years, everyone put, if the people are here, you know, average people, oh, Jesus is God, he's above, right? Well, they made Mary a prostitute, put her below. So we took those wounds because as a collective, we needed to unveil the parts of ourselves that we would within those wounds. And then now we're seeing ourselves, okay? Like, yes, we needed that to bring knowledge out, which we did in all the forms of technology that came out of Europe. But in suppressing the feminine, we've lost wisdom. Okay, well, what does that do? Have you ever been to a camporee, you know, Boy Scouts camporee, where there's all men and no women and all the things that happen? Like, let's imagine this. This is what happens when there's all men around. You know, it's the Darwin Award group, right? They kill themselves over stupid things because they just start fighting and there's no wisdom, okay? But what happens when you put all women alone on an island? That's like Survivor, right? They can't fend for themselves, and these guys, in that way, they'll die. And men can't protect themselves from their own stupidity, and so they kill each other. So this is where, when it's all masculine, we see lots of war. When it's all feminine, we don't know, we can't fend for ourselves because we don't, you know, all the killing of the animal, all the knowledge and technology, we don't know how to operate. So then we slowly die. So they might die faster, but, you know, we might die slower. You know what I'm saying? But both brings death to society. So we got to bring men and women together to acknowledge women have the wisdom, men have the knowledge in general. And when I speak from knowledge, I'm coming from JC's heart, his knowledge. And when he speaks from wisdom, he's coming from my heart, my soul, through him. That's why there's the yin yang symbol, the balance of masculinity white with a little bit of femininity black, and femininity black, a little of masculinity white. It just shows that internally we need masculine and feminine balance, and externally we need it as well. So yesterday was a success. This week was a success. And so I'm at home experiencing enlightenment. Like, that was a huge enlightenment experience every day. I kept hearing rapture. That was a rapture. That was a rapture. So this is me giving everybody, like, through my soul, channeling universal wisdom, giving everyone an opportunity to internalize more wisdom and vibrate higher. This is the change. Now, why do people say that, oh, our souls are going to ascend and our bodies are going to release? Well, actually, those are the people who don't upgrade now, don't love themselves now, their bodies will get sick because their bodies are out of alignment with the energy. Like, the 5D happens before the 3D. So with more people vibrating higher, the people who are vibrating lower, it'll, you know, more clearly identify them, and they'll more clearly be on the outs. But then, okay, it's clear you're not loving yourself, so come over to this group. So this is how we give everyone an opportunity to love themselves more. You know, there's not some big announcement, oh, there's a rapture. No, okay? It's an energy. It's influential. Like, if you look at women water and men land, how does this work? Well, when women rupture, like there's big waves, and that's how it seeps into the land. So right now, I've made big waves emotionally yesterday and changing the energy, and then big waves will come out through the land. Okay. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of projections about a lot of, volcanoes and earthquakes, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not shown that. And my intuition tells me what to do every day. My soul takes me through the process every day. But what I do know, what I, did see today, there's a reason Jews are called the chosen people. There's a reason for it. They were chosen, like we are on the Hebrew calendar, not any other calendar. We are on, as a collective of souls, we are following the Hebrew calendar. So the third temple will return. Islam will fall. Islam's evil. Not that everyone in Islam is evil, but when you let Islam take over, all they want to do is repress everybody. That's all they want to do. Look at Dearborn, Michigan. They blow horns at 5:30 in the morning for the mosque, even though it's against city ordinances. How can the mayor tell a pastor to get out of town because he doesn't agree? That's what you want taken over? No, we don't. People want to come to America, become American, bitches. You don't want to become American, get the fuck out. That's how we have to act. That is the line. That's like healthy friggin' boundary. You're not going to come here and take over and tell us how, to fear God and punish people and celebrate the Hezbollah and create a straight name after Hezbollah, after a terrorist organization. What the hell is that? No way. So keep self-reflecting, keep, healing. Check out the wisdom in my, in the six techniques for self-love, and love yourself, heal yourself, appreciate your challenges in life, self-reflect, return to your heart, and then forgiveness just flows naturally after you turn that wound into wisdom while learning your lesson. Okay, please like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Bye.